Man, when I just did that last post in my story about letting go of the past, I felt the Lord telling me to share something. You know, God has blessed me. He has blessed me with a wonderful husband, wonderful children, this amazing ministry that He's using to change lives. And now He has me working on my own thing. And while I'm always been so grateful and humbled that God would use me in the capacity that He is, I was not able to fully enjoy it because I was holding on to my past. I was holding on to the past as far as my mom. I was just always so sad and so depressed that, you know, she is not here to enjoy this with me. You know, she had such a hard life, and then she just died. And, you know, obviously, like, this life is nothing, and heaven is eternal, and there's no nothing but peace. There's no more suffering, no pain, no nothing. So obviously it's better for her to be in heaven. But it still made me sad to think about her life here. I'm like, she never got to have a husband. She never got to do everything that she wanted to do. And it made me sad, and, you know, it frustrated me because I'm like, she deserved everything that I have. And, you know, obviously Jesus heals everything. And I would just talk to God one day. I was just like, why am I still crying? Why am I still hurting so badly in my heart? And He told me, you haven't given it to me yet. So last night I made a post about how I learned how to be super vulnerable with Jesus and just let Him into all the dirtiness, the mess. And I realized I hadn't truly done that as far as, you know, my mom. So I had to go to God and tell Him, you know, I'm not angry with you. I know you work all things out for our good, but I'm angry about how the situation turned out. And, you know, I just broke down, and it was so hard to unbandage that wound and let it out. It was hard. Yeah, like, I don't remember the last time I cried that bad. And although it was painful, it was healing. And I'm not gonna say, you know, when you lose someone, you will never be sad again. I still get sad thinking about my mom, but there was such a release in going to God and letting Him into that part. And He did begin to stitch up that wound, because I was just bandaging it with, you know, ignoring it. I was just trying to ignore it and doing my best to not let the enemy into my mind, and it wasn't really working. So the moral of the story is, God wants to bring us to the promised land, like the post said. But if we're holding on to the past, even if He does bring us to the promised land, we're not going to be able to fully enjoy it because we're holding on. So it's like we're sitting where God wants to bring us. We're out of the wilderness, but in our minds we're still trapped. And that's not what He wants. You know, with Christ, we are free. We don't need to be in bondage anymore. We don't need to be slaves to anything. And I just want to encourage anyone, if there is something that is hurting your heart, something painful you're holding on to, let Jesus in, because He is the only one who can fix it. He's the only one who can bring you out of that dark place. He is the light.